Hi everyone and welcome to this video. I'm Rose, I'm from Minerva, and for today's video we will be looking at a pattern haul of McCall's sewing patterns. We have a range of patterns today and we've also got some matching fabrics, and we're looking at different fabrics as well. So we've got some special fabrics, we have some woven fabrics and some knit fabrics too. So our first pattern is a McCall's 8311. The 8311 is an asymmetric dress pattern and it comes in 3 different styles. So we've got view A, view B and view C. View A and B have the same bodice style, so we've got that amazingly designed top bodice where it wraps over one shoulder, it comes round, and then you've got that full sleeve, so that one sleeve design. A is above the knee and B is slightly below the knee. And view C has no sleeves, so it's sleeveless dress, but it does wrap over the shoulder. And the way that this pattern is designed, it's designed to bunch up that fabric just a little bit on the shoulder. So it comes a little bit up the neck and then that fabric gathers on the shoulder. And what it does really is it mirrors that ring detail around the waist. So you've got that decorative ring and then the fabric's pulled over that and sewn so it gathers in. Now it comes in 2 pattern pack sizes. So we've got one pack which is 4 to 12 and the other one which is 14 to 22. So as this is a pull-on dress, there's no fastenings, you will need to have a material that does have stretch so that you're able to get it on and get it off, because there's no zips or no buttons. I really couldn't do this pattern without mentioning Sewist, and she's made this pattern and she's used it with, say, metallic lycra blue, and it's just made an amazing cosplay outfit. So first of all, how amazing would that dress pattern look in this material? With a stunningly designed pattern, you need a material that's going to really show off those components, and this fabric will do it no problem. This is the metallic active wear lycra stretch knit fabric, so it's made from 97% polyester and 3% spandex. Now that spandex gives it a stretch length of 15%. So stretch there and a stretch width of 25%. So a good amount of stretch in this material, perfect for this dress. So being an activewear sportswear material, it's made for garments that need a little bit of movement to them, something that's quite tight and form-fitting. So it suits this pattern because it's a pattern that is supposed to hug your body and be really form-fitting. Now you might find with certain elements like the sleeve that you need to adjust the pattern slightly to make it more fit into your arm, so whether that's to tighten it or to loosen it, then you might find that that's a bit of the pattern that you need to adjust. It's classed as a medium weight fabric, but it's actually quite a thin fabric, so it's going to be really quite light to wear. Of course it gathers beautifully as well. With this type of material you don't really want a soft flow, you want that harsh flow so that it picks up the light and shows off that metallic quality. So when you have that gathered around the ring and gathered at the shoulder and of course down the sleeve, then this is going to work really well and make just a stunning show-off dress. I'd suggest not pinning this fabric and instead use binding clips. It's a little bit like leather where if you pin leather or you puncture leather you can't get rid of the holes, so using binding clips instead will be a much better option for this fabric. You can get binding clips on the Minerva website. Also, because it's quite a thin material, the seams do lie really flat, so you could finger press those seams instead of using an iron. Of course it's made from polyester, it's also metallic fabric, so you want to iron this as little as possible, so you can definitely get away with just finger pressing nice and firmly those seams open. So next up we have the sequin mesh fabric, and this fabric is absolutely covered in sequins. I mean, it's full of sequins, and they're quite small sequins. They're about maybe 3mm in diameter. It's made from 100% polyester and it does have a stretch to it. So hopefully we will be able to see that the stretch of this, there we are. It's a good amount of stretch in this material this way, a little less so in this direction. So when you're putting your pattern pieces onto the fabric, you need to make sure that the grain line is going in all the same direction. Now sequin fabrics can be a little bit difficult to sew because of course you'll be sewing through plastic. So what I'd recommend is once you have your seams lined up is to clip away very, very delicately at those sequins until you have just a small amount of fabric on the edges, and that will help reduce the amount of times you sew through sequins. Save those sequins at the end though, because you might find that you need to sew them back on. If there's a little gap along the seams, then you can just re-sew those sequins back on to cover them up. The background fabric of this, the base fabric, is a stretchy mesh, and it is a little bit see-through, so you will probably be able to see my hand through this material. So lining this material will be a good option as well, and you can do that with, say, a lightweight cotton, maybe a stretch cotton of course, or like a crepe. That would also work very well. So you'll be working with this pattern as 2 layers of fabric. What will be a good option is to baste those pieces of fabric together. So once you've got your pattern pieces cut out, is to base the top material, this sequin material, on top of your lining fabric. The next pattern we have is a McCall's 8324, and this is a crop top pattern, so it's perfect for summer wear. Now it comes in 3 different styles. We have A, B and C. All styles have a princess seams on the front, and they've all got that open back detail. So the 3 different styles: view A, which has elbow length sleeves and they're gathered at the base, and then it has the back where it's crisscross lacing and it's fastened at the bottom. View B has full length sleeves and it still has that open back, but it's actually tied around the front of the waist. And then view C has 3/4 length sleeves, and it's still got that open back, but it's crisscross and that's fastened at the top. And of course you can mix and match the sleeves. If you don't want a longer sleeve, you could put in a shorter sleeve. So you can change around those elements of this pattern. Now this pattern works really quite well with light materials like poplins, chamousses, chalices, crepes and viscose, because you want, if it's summer time, you want it to be nice and light to wear and nice and breathable. This is another pattern that comes in 2 different pack sizes, so we've got one which is 6 to 14 and another one which is 16 to 24. The pattern also has different cup sizes, so make sure when you're cutting out pieces you've got the right size cups for you. The first fabric we have is the Rose and Hubble 100% cotton poplin fabric. Now the colour I have is mint green, and it's like a really nice light green colour with, say, an off-white background. And the other colours available are all light shades, really nice pastel colours, so perfect colours for summer really. It's made from 100% cotton and it's a non-stretch fabric, woven non-stretch fabric. And it's a poplin, so it's really nice and lightweight. Now the pattern of course is stripes. They are quite thin stripes, so they're roughly about 3 to 4 millimeters in width. And then of course you've got the light coloured sort of off-white background, which is slightly bigger, say like 4 to 5 millimeters in width. The stripes are kind of doubled as well, so they have a thicker stripe down the middle, and then there's 2 thinner stripes on the outside of that thicker stripe. For the pattern that we have, this is going to work really nicely for the bodice where it's really quite flat. You've got those princess seams, and then around the sleeves where it's more fuller, this is going to gather in nicely and softly as well. So when this gathers inwards, you'll get those little crispy drapes, which will work really quite nicely. It will hold the volume of the sleeves really well. next material we have is a luxury smooth crepe fabric, and this colour is red, but it does come in more than 25 other colours. But if ever a colour was to speak luxury, it would definitely be this colour red. Now it's made from 100% polyester and it's a woven non-stretch material. It falls very differently to the cotton poplin we had, where that cotton poplin was a bit more crisper, a little bit more stiffer. This is a much more softer drape. It's very flowy, very, very drapey. So for those sleeves where the cotton poplin would hold the shape of the sleeves, hold the brownness, this is going to fall very differently. It's going to be much more smoother and much more flowing. So it's a crepe fabric and it does have a subtle crepe texture to it. It does have a slight sheen as well. I noticed as I was putting it up that there is a little shimmer to this. It's not too pronounced, but it does catch the light just very, very delicately. When sewing with this material, you'll want a sharp needle because it's a very fine weave material. You'll need a sharp needle. Anything blunt will snag on those on the weave and it will pull it through, so make sure that you do get a sharp needle. "8314" by McCalls is a jumpsuit and playsuit pattern. So we've got 3 different styles. We've got A, which is like that shorter playsuit with the tie waist, B, which is the longer jumpsuit and it has the tie waist also, and C, which is another jumpsuit but it doesn't have a tie waist. All are very loose fitting apart from the tie waists. They are very loose fitting garments, they're nice and open, very comfortable to wear. So they all have these wide sleeves that sort of drape down. So it's a perfect garment to wear if you want a jumpsuit, say if you're going out in the evening in the summer. This would be a pretty good match. Now, it comes in 2 pattern sizes. So we have the first pack, which is extra small to medium, and then large to extra, extra large. This is a pattern, because it's loose fitting, this is a pattern that is you can use both stretch and non-stretch materials for. So there's a good option there. You can use a range of materials, both from plains to patterned. You could use, say, satins. If you had lightweight denim, that would make more of a casual style jumpsuit. So yeah, there's a few different options you can use with this pattern. We have 2 challis fabrics for this pattern, and that's because challis fabrics have a lovely flow to them, a lovely soft drape to them. They're mostly lightweight material, so they're perfect for summer wear. And of course, because of that drape and flow for the patterns that have the tie waist, it's going to bring it in, it's going to create really nice soft gathers. First one we have is a pattern fabric, and this is the Atelier Vera Viscose challis fabric. The background is like a pink blush colour, and then on top we have geometric shapes of dots, so there's like a burgundy, a brown, a teal and white lines in there as well. The print is actually in reference to a famous cubist artist called Vera Pastel, and she did very geometric shapes, so this is in reference to her paintings. It's made from 100% viscose, and that's Lenzing Eco Vera viscose, so it's very eco-friendly, and it's a woven non-stretch material. As I mentioned before, this does have a really nice soft drape to it. It's very breathable, it's very light and incredibly soft. It will be nice against your skin. So the next challis fabric we have is the Minerva Core Range Viscose Challis fabric, and this is made from 100% viscose and it's a non-stretch woven material. Very similar in feel to the Atelier Brunettes, but this is a solid colour, this is a plain fabric, so it doesn't have a pattern. It's a very affordable fabric, and there's more than 60 colours available of this material, so it's a good one to have in your collection. If you needed a basic fabric just to have on hand, in loads of different colours, say if you had a top that you wanted to make really quickly, then this is a good fabric to have just in your collection, ready and at hand. So it's very soft, incredibly floaty and drapey, same as the Atelier Brunettes. So again, if you're using the designs and the styles with the draw waist, the tie waist, then this is going to work really well because it's going to create soft gathers, nothing too harsh, nothing too bulky. The McCall's 8285 is a dress and blouse pattern, so we've got two different styles of garments in this pattern. We have view A, which is the blouse or the top, and then we have view B, which is more like a tunic or a short dress, view C and D, which are longer dresses, and view D doesn't have any sleeves. Now the style of the dresses are like tiers, so there's one tier and then two tiers for C and D, and it's a very loose fitting garment. It's not particularly fitted, so it's nice and breathable to wear, but of course you could add on a belt if you wanted to. It's for woven non-stretch materials, and it's an easy pattern to make, so it's great for beginners or novices, or if you want a quick pattern to make up. Two fabrics now which I hope will create two different garments for different seasons. So we've got one which will be more for summer and one which will be more for winter. Now this fabric will be more summer wear, so it's a much lighter material, and it's the scalloped edge Brodier Anglaise cotton fabric. So it's made from 100% cotton, and it's an embroidered fabric. So whereas you might have a printed fabric where the design is printed on or woven in, this is embroidered on top. So it's quite a thin cotton to begin with, and then the embroidery is done over top, which makes it a little bit more thicker on top of the embroidery. The design is like flowers on a vine, so there's a single curved line going up, and then we have different flowers going up the vines, and then little tiny leaves on the vines as well. And it also has a scalloped edge, so if I pick it up slowly, you'll see there's a scalloped edge, which is a really, really nice design. You could definitely make use of this with the pattern, you know, on the hem instead of having a sewn hem. If you used this scalloped edge as a hem, that's a lovely decorative technique. You could also do that for the sleeves as well. It's a lightweight material, it's a delicate fabric, and because it's embroidered on top and then the in parts of the flowers and the leaves are cut away, there are parts of it that are see-through, only like a little bit where the hopefully you can see, like on the leaves it's just see-through. So it would be a good idea to line this fabric, especially for the top, maybe the first tier, with say like a cotton poplin, just to stop it being see-through. But left for the sleeves and for the bottom tier, it would look quite nice just to be left as a single fabric. For the more winter wear garments, we have the cotton triple gauze fabric. It's triple gauze, so it's actually 3 layers of fabric woven and stuck together. The single layers of gauze is quite an open weave, it's a loose weave material, so 3 layers means that it's much less see-through and it's a much thicker material. It's classed as a medium weight material. It's very soft though, it is a very soft material. Of course it's made from cotton, so it does have those sort of soft, nice qualities against your skin. But as you can see, if I bunch it up there, the drape and fold of this material is much thicker than say the poplin that we had before. It's very warm, made from 100% cotton, it's woven and it's non-stretch. And of course the appearance of the fabric is like a textured front, and they're kind of like rectangles, soft rectangles, where the weave of the fabric has created this sort of grid appearance to it. Because of the nature of the 3 layers of fabric and the appearance of the gauze, it's created a very organic look in fabric. It's quite a rustic appearance, so it's nice and relaxed. And of course, gathered with for those tiers, it's going to gather in a very, very different way than the Brodier Anglaise, because those gathers are going to be softer but thicker gathers. A good example of this fabric in use for a ruffle or a tier is by Abby Sews. And she's made the top, and you can see the texture of that fabric is really being shown off. And of course the tier at the bottom, the ruffle part, how this fabric gathers in, it creates a really thick but soft gather around that tier. McCall's 8263 pattern is a shirt pattern and it comes in 3 different styles. So it's a unisex pattern, and so it's for both male and female, and the 3 different styles have different variations for sleeve lengths and pockets. So we've got view A and view B, which are short sleeves, view B has the pockets, and then view C, which is long sleeves, and that doesn't have any pockets. All have collars and button fasteners down the front, and they have that really nice detail of the pin tucks down the front of the pattern. There is also a full style, the D style, and that is a bucket hat. So it's a nice accessory added into this pattern. So the materials that you want to use with this pattern really are lightweight materials, so poplins, polycottons, lightweight denims, and lightweight linens would be really nice as well, so more summer wear shirts. And also because it's a unisex pattern, it does come in quite a big range of sizes, so it ranges from small to extra large. Shout out to Hey Hey Crochet on the Minerva community. They've made this shirt pattern and they've used like a really cool fabric. So we've got like black and white horses on top, I think, with the plain blue background. Now the pin tucks look really nice on this garment, and of course they put the patch pockets on over top as well. The first fabric we have is 100% cotton poplin fabric, so it's made from 100% cotton. It's poplin, it's a very lightweight material, perfect for summer wear, perfect for shirts because it's very breathable and very airy. Being a cotton and poplin, it's stiffer, so it's going to hold those pleats, those pin tucks down the front really nicely, and of course the collar as well. So the pattern of this fabric is floral. We have the base colour, which is like a flat matte black, and then on top we have like these flowers and leaves, and the base colour of those are white, and then we have like the details are drawn on with like, almost looks like a fine liner pen. Le Fleur Styles made a dress in this fabric, and she's done a really good job because she's really shown off the fabric design with her dress. You could pattern match this, so with the sleeves or with the side seams, you could take the extra time, work out where the repeat is, and pattern match this fabric to make a nice seamless shirt. I do like fabrics that have like a organic look to them, so something that might be a little bit more rustic and more natural in appearance. And this is the Minerva Core Range 100% cotton poplin fabric. It's made from 100% cotton and it's a non-stretch woven material. If you've used materials like calico before, maybe if you've used them as a mock-up or if you've used them for homeware, then you'll know the appearance of the calico is very natural. It's not dyed, it's a plain colour, but it's interwoven is also like a natural speckle. This is very similar in appearance. It's not a thick material like a calico, so it's much more thinner, much more delicate, which is a great option for the shirt. But the appearance is very organic, it's very rustic. We have this sort of flat colour underneath, and then on top we have the speckles that just add a very different character to this fabric. Now this is the natural seeded colour, so this is the fabric that does have those speckles in it, but it does come in more than 35 other colours, so there's a range of dyed colours, so like the blacks, pinks, yellows, purples, so there's a good range of other colours available in this material. But I've chosen the natural seeded because I think it would work really well for the shirt patterns. Because it's a nice soft, crisp material as well, it's going to hold those pin tucks nicely. So once you put them in, it's going to make really nice crisp pin tucks. Also going to be really nice and easy to sew with. McCall's 8194 is a dress pattern, and it's a very form-fitting pattern. So you'll need a stretch fabric or a knit fabric with this pattern because it has no fastenings on it, so there's no zips. Those buttons are decorative, so it's a pull-on dress. There's 3 different styles. We have view A, B and C. View A is the shorter style with long sleeves, view B is longer with shorter sleeves, and then view C does have the long sleeves. All have this V neckline and the bands down the front, and it comes in 2 different pack sizes. So we've got the first pack size, which is 6 to 14, and the second, which is 16 to 24. So like I mentioned, you will need a stretch fabric for this, and we have a couple of stretch options. One's a plain coloured and one is a pattern fabric. The craft entrepreneur has made this pattern, and she's used like a sage green or light sage green polka dot fabric, and you can really see how she's made it, how it's supposed to be quite close fitting and really hug the body. So the pattern fabric we have is a Minerva exclusive Peony Dusk loop back French terry stretch knit fabric. It's made from 95% cotton and 5% lycra. It has a stretch width of 30%, there we go, and a stretch length of 50%. So a good amount of stretch in this material, so it's a great option for this pattern. It's classed as a medium weight fabric, so it does feel slightly thick, but it's a nice material to use if you wanted to make this dress for, say, autumn wear or winter wear, rather than more of a summer wear dress. So we can see on the pattern itself that it has like this navy blue or this dark blue background, and then these great shapes of geometric abstract shapes in a range of colours. We have like a salmon pink, a lighter salmon pink, we have some sort of green camouflage dots, that's quite a nice background, a lime sort of green, and then mauve colours as well. So it's a good option to use if you wanted to do pattern style B, because you could use this material for one half and then have the other material, another material in a similar sort of feel as the other half. Loop back French terry fabric is a very warm fabric to use. So on the front we have the jersey appearance, so it looks like a jersey cotton material with the print. And on the back we have the loops. Now the loops are made to make this a slightly thicker fabric, so it does help to keep you warm, so it's great for garments that you want to wear in the winter. Now because it's a jersey, you will need to use a jersey needle, so that's a ballpoint needle rather than a sharp needle. So yeah, you will find ballpoint needles on the Minerva website. And the last fabric we have is the Meat Milk Tencel Jersey Stretch Knit fabric. Exactly the same as the Peony Dusk fabric, this is a jersey material, so you will need to get a ballpoint needle to sew this with. Also, being a knit fabric, it doesn't fray, which is a really nice option. You could seam finish this really simply, of course. It's made from 94% tencel and 6% elastane, and that elastane gives it a stretch width of 40%. There we are, and a stretch length of 50%. So it's a quite nice amount of stretch in this. So the colour I have is pecan, so it's like this dark chocolate toffee colour, but it does come in more than 25 other colours, so there's a good range of colours there that you could do what style B has, with one colour on the one side and then the other colour on the other side. This would make a dress that would be more suited towards spring or summer, because it is slightly more lightweight than the Peony Dusk material. So whilst that was a medium weight to heavyweight, this is more lightweight to medium weight. Now it does have a good way of catching light, this material. As you can see, it's quite shiny. It's not a matte material. As it flows and it drapes, the light picks up some nice tones in this material. It is fine weave, so it's a lovely fine weave jersey, so it's very silky and very soft to wear. We've reached the end of this video and we've made our way through a pattern haul of McCall's patterns, and we've also had some fabrics to go with them. So we've had both a range of patterns and fabrics. We've had some shirts, we've had jumpsuits and dresses, and the fabrics that we've had range from the woven, the special and the knit fabrics. Now you'll notice throughout this video I shared posts and photos from members of the Minerva community, and you can do so too by creating a free account with Minerva. You can share posts, save posts, and also post what you have made, and you never know, you might actually end up on one of our videos. Now, any comments that you do have, please put them in the comments section, and don't forget that all the links to all these fabrics and patterns you will find in the description box. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.